Fulton County Sheriff Patrick Labat gave details about former President Donald Trump's behavior when he surrendered at Fulton County Jail last month. Welcome back to Resist the Mainstream. I'm Steve Inman, reporting the news that the mainstream won't. Don't forget to subscribe and, of course, like and hit that notification bell to keep up to date with our latest reports. Where former President Donald Trump has dominated the news cycle for months now as he faces investigation for pending criminal charges by the state of New York. He came out. He was very stoic, really in a space that he was able to really lean on what we were doing, what we planned. And so we took his mugshot, took his fingerprints as we would anybody else, Labat told CNN late last week. Labat added that he was upset when he saw the former president surrender at the jail because, according to him, he didn't want to see someone of the former president's stature having to go through the booking process at the jail, which of course included President Trump's now viral mugshot being taken. In fact, it was heartbreaking to see someone of that stature and who represents our country in that fashion having to go through this, Labat said on September 8th.
Well, I will tell you, having been in law enforcement for 32 years, having been in a jail environment equally as long, it was eerily quiet when you have that many security protocols in place. I will tell you, he came out, he was very stoic, really in a space that he was able to really lean on what we were doing, what we planned. And so we took his mugshot, took his fingerprints as we would anybody else. And ultimately, we arranged for his bond paperwork to be brought to the motorcade so that we could get him in and off the premises as quickly as possible.
And then no issue with any of it? I mean, not that he could have, but I mean, he was, in terms of his face, as you say, it was stoic. There was no expression.
No, it was, again, eerily silent. And really, it was, for me, on a personal level, it was heartbreaking to see someone of that stature and who represents our country in that fashion having to go through this. But again, the women and men of the Fulton County Sheriff's Office, both our sworn and professional team, very, very, very professional and making sure that we follow through, not only with our commitment to serve our community, but really focus on the job at hand and get the former president out.
Trump, as well as 18 co-defendants, surrendered in a major case brought by Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis under Georgia's racketeering statute. All have pleaded not guilty, while some have attempted to move their cases to a federal court. The district attorney's office alleged that Trump, former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani, former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, prominent attorney Sidney Powell, and of course former campaign lawyer Jenna Ellis, and more conspired to overturn the results of the 2020 election.
I think the fake indictment that they did in Georgia was very helpful, and then they insisted on a mugshot, and somehow it turned out to be very iconic.
Yeah. Sheriff, in retrospect, do you think it was a mistake at all? Do you have any regrets about doing the mugshot, given that he, of course, has capitalized off it in a massively lucrative way?
Well, if there were any regrets, the copywriting, I'll leave that up to the lawyers. There's still an opportunity for us to hopefully partake in some of the capitalization of that and then put it back in the sheriff's office, as well as, again, I understand the capitalization of it. And maybe that was the plan all along. We don't know, but we're in a place to maintain our commitment, make sure we focus on treating everybody as humanely as we can.
Several other defendants have requested a separate trial or one in small groups, and Trump himself, the frontrunner in the 2024 Republican presidential primary, has asked to be tried apart from anyone who files a speedy trial request. Several days prior to Labat's comments, Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee said that the trial for Powell and attorney Kenneth Chesebro would begin on October 23rd. He was, however, highly skeptical of prosecutors' arguments that all 19 defendants could be tried together that soon. Quoted, "It just seems a bit unrealistic to think we can handle all 19 in 40 days. That's my initial reaction," he said, responding to prosecutors' claims. When she announced the indictment last month, Willis added that she intended to try all 19 defendants together. However, the sprawling indictment with so many defendants makes it extremely complicated to try the full group together. McAfee also raised concerns about what the effort by some defendants to have their cases moved to federal court could mean for the rest of the case, saying appeals and final decisions in the case could take months. Additionally, the full Fulton County grand jury report has been released, which recommended that others be charged in connection with the case, including Senator Lindsey Graham, retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, former Senator Kelly Loeffler, and former Senator David Perdue. Willis opted not to change them. Graham has denied by wrongdoing and said that a phone call he had with Georgia's Secretary of the State, Brad Raffensperger, after the 2020 election was appropriate and within his duties as a senator in charge of the committee. Quote, "It should never be a crime for a federal elected official, particularly the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, who will have to vote to certify a presidential election, to question and ensure the integrity of that election," he told reporters on September 8th. In addition, Loeffler wrote on Twitter that she was merely speaking for people who felt that the 2020 election was conducted in an unfair manner. Quoting, "Trying to jail your party's leading political opponent ahead of 2024 election is election interference. Speaking out in defense of election integrity is not," she wrote last week. Well, it appears the 2024 election cycle is already kicking off to a controversial start. As Trump continues to face legal trouble, the Democratic Party continues to do whatever they can to prevent Trump from taking office once more. Ironically, his support base has only grown. Once again, I'm Steve Inman with Resist the Mainstream, reporting the news that the mainstream won't. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and of course, hit that notification bell to stay up to date. Till next time, take care. We'll see you then.